Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future. Jai Hind and a very good afternoon to Mr. Irfan Jafar, Mr. Mandar Thosar, Mr. Gaurav Kabra, Mr. Devesh Pratap Singh, Mr. Rakesh Khandari, Ms. Rajnandini Vyas, Mr. Bishwajit Datta, our MD, Dr. Jai Singh, our Dean, Dr. Poonam Nikam, faculty members and all the students of IIEBM. I, Andrea D'Souza, MC for today, accord you a warm and cordial welcome to the orientation program for the batch 2023-2025. The theme for the pre-induction this year is Preparing Minds and Shaping Futures. On this note, welcome to the panel discussion on navigating the changing landscape of business, insights from the industry experts. Today we have gathered a distinguished group of panelists who bring a wealth of experience and expertise in their respective fields. In this dynamic session, we aim to explore the challenges and opportunities presented by the ever-evolving business landscape. Without further ado, I take this opportunity to introduce our panelists. I would now like to invite our first panelist, Mr. Irfan Jafar, onto the dais. No, sir.
Thank you.
Yes. It's my honor to now introduce sir. Sir, may I have your permission to proceed?
Yes,
Thank you, sir. Mr. Irfan Jafar has 12 years of business development experience with New Zealand Trade and Enterprise, that is, New Zealand government's international business development agency. He is passionate about helping New Zealand companies to grow bigger, better, and faster internationally. Sir is an alumnus of the 2000 and 2002 batch of IIEBM. For South Asia, he manages a portfolio of New Zealand companies across manufacturing, technology, healthcare, and other sectors. He has led NZTE's e-commerce digital commerce initiatives in India and NZTE's commercial initiatives in Sri Lanka over the last 5 years. He has been part of various NZPM and ministers' business delegations to India. Prior to NZTE, he has 9 years of private sector experience in large US multinationals like Dow Chemicals and DuPont in setting up new business units as well as scaling up existing business units in South Asia markets in sectors ranging from food processing, biotech, and life sciences. He has a Six Sigma green belt and is into off-road sports. Please welcome Mr. Irfan Jafar. I would now like to invite our next panelist, Mr. Mandar Thosar, onto the dais. Sir, may I have your permission to proceed? Thank you, sir. Mandar sir is a marketing expert with more than 18 years of experience in creating plans for traditional and digital marketing, as well as developing brands. He has successfully helped businesses grow, improved how people view brands, and increase engagement with target audiences. After working for more than 15 years at a leading IT services company in India, Mandar sir started his own consulting firm called 1.01. 1.01 specializes in marketing for technology companies. In a short time, 1.01 has been recognized as the best agency by Small Businesses Awards hosted by Corporate Vision UK. Mr. Mandar Thosar has received a prestigious title called Let's Talk CX Fast 100 from Oracle India and Let's Talk CX. This title honors the top 100 innovative leaders in marketing, customer experience, sales, and services from growing organizations in India. Sir has a postgraduate degree in data science and business analytics from the University of Texas, and he's also a certified cybercrime investigator. He completed his undergraduate studies at the Government College of Engineering, Amravati, and pursued his MBA and Masters in Marketing Management from IIEBM and is part of the 2004-2006 batch. Let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Mandar Thosar. I would now like to invite our next panelist, Mr. Gaurav Kabra. Sir, may I have your permission to proceed? Thank you, sir. Mr. Gaurav Kabra was part of the 2004-2006 batch at IIEBM, where he started his career in capital markets and wealth management consulting. Sir managed a team of consultants helping clients making right investment decisions to achieve their financial goals. Eventually, he moved on to pursuing his passion in IT. Today, he spearheads the enterprise pre-sales solutions team at eZest with over 17 years of diverse client-facing experience, mentoring a team of 40-plus functional experts. Gaurav sir is helping clients in digital transformation and developing world-class digital products across the globe. He has been a consultant to clients such as UN agencies, Fortune 500 enterprise, and digital product companies. Please welcome Mr. Gaurav Kabra. Our next panelist is Mr. Devesh Pratap Singh. Sir, you may. Sir, may I have your permission to proceed? Thank you, sir. Mr. Devesh Pratap Singh is a business analyst with more than 10 years of experience in capital market, Basel regulatory reporting, data quality, and credit risk. Sir is an alumnus of the 2005-2007 batch. He is currently working as the Assistant Vice President at Deutsche Bank. Sir has worked at organizations such as Capgemini, Credit Suisse, and Sintel. Sir has a keen passion for investment banking, capital markets, and talent management. Please welcome Mr. Devesh Pratap Singh. I would now like to invite our next panelist, Mr. Rakesh Khandari, onto the dais. Sir, may I have your permission to proceed? Thank you, sir. Mr. Rakesh Khandari is an alumni from the 2007-2009 batch. During his time pursuing a PGDM program at IIEBM, Sir actively participated in various extracurricular activities. In 2008, he served as the team leader, leading a team of 55 students during the Commonwealth Youth Games held in Pune. In 2009, Sir joined IIEBM as an employee while pursuing his third semester. Notably, Sir received a 100% scholarship tour to Singapore from IIEBM. Later, Sir embarked on a professional journey by joining Indica Industries in Noida, specializing in marketing and quality departments, where Sir gained valuable experience in the automotive sector. Sir has completed many certifications, including a quality certification from Tata Autocom System India, a certification in MSc SPC from TUV SUD, a Six Sigma Green Belt certification from International Academy for Certification and Training, and multiple certifications from Harvard, including business case development, career management, crisis management, and process improvement. Currently, Sir operates as a consultant, managing their own classes and engaging in various railway projects. He collaborates with notable organizations as well as conducting comprehensive audits. With over 10 years of experience in QA, marketing, and new part development, Sir has worked with renowned companies and has chosen to provide consultancy services primarily to the thriving MSME sector. Please welcome Mr. Rakesh Khandari. I would now like to invite our next panelist, Ms. Rajnandini Vyas, onto the dais. Ma'am, may I have your permission to proceed? Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Rajnandini Vyas is leading the digital marketing operations for one of the renowned clients of TCS. With digital branding and growth being her area of expertise, she is strategizing a few open AI automation projects and co-pilots them. She has also been a part of the digital marketing teams of brands like FirstCry.com and RPG Group. Ma'am is the part of the 2013-2015 batch of IIEBM. Apart from this, ma'am believes that a healthy and fit life is the key to all other aspects of your life. Therefore, now she is a regular Hatha Yoga practitioner. To understand the depth of her practice, ma'am is now a level 3 yoga instructor. Please welcome Ms. Rajnandini Vyas. I would now like to invite our last panelist onto the dais, Mr. Biswajit Datta. Sir, may I have your permission to proceed? Thank you, sir. Mr. Biswajit Datta is the Managing Director at Glass India, is an alumnus of IIEBM from the 2015-2017 batch. He started his career at Reddington India Limited as a project trainee and then as an area sales manager. And at his next role as an assistant sales manager at Matrix Cosmic, responsibilities include overseeing telecom and security solutions like IPPBX, IP phones, CCTV surveillance, and such. Tasks involving management, end customers, and fostering long-term relationships, coordinating with regional distributors, engaging system integrators for business generation, and supporting the team in order execution. Let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Biswajit Datta.
cannot resist but to say today is a very proud day for us because we've got our alumni from the first batch, the founder batch of this institute. The ethos and values which were there, you can see he still looks the youngest of them lot because the focus is to be on fitness, our earlier director, fitness, discipline, and academic excellence. There were some terms, JTB and GTWD, which we had to know. Just too bad and get the work done. If you were late, just too bad. You had to face the punishment. But then that made people so tough and so strong that we were a success anywhere. And then, of course, we've got the alumni across generations. So you've got, I think, so the global leading companies in front of you. You've got experience worth thousands and thousands of years in front of you. You have the best hands today. So thank you so much for being here. You're truly the pillars of this institution and what will take this institution to greater heights and places. We were just discussing the celebration of the 25 years. Your batch will be a part of that because yours is 23, 25. So we will want to see all of you actively get involved with the different alumni from the different batches to seek their help in reaching out to all the alumni, to reach out to the entire IIEBM fraternity, to get them for this grand event which we will be having. So your batch will be witnessing the planning and being a part of it. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, panelists, for joining us today. Now let's delve into the discussion on navigating the changing landscape of business and gain insights from our esteemed panelists. My first question to the panelists is, how has business evolved over the years? Irfan sir, if you may please start the discussion.
Jai Hind. Firstly, it's great to see all of you all. It's actually a throwback moment in time for me. You know, I remember my time when I was just fresh out of college into my management institute. I know what goes in your head, right? A lot of hopes, a lot of dreams, a lot of confusion, a lot of anxiety. Have I done the right thing? Where is my future going to take me? Is it not?
Yes, sir.
So, how's the Josh? I keep asking all the time.
Hi, sir.
Very good. So, warm welcome to everybody. And like Dr. Jay said, that you are in perfect hands, not just with us, but also with Dr. Jay. And I know I've known him through so many years, the kind of effort he's made to make this institute the way it is, the way it has come up today as an institution of global reputation. It's amazing. And my congratulations to you once again, sir, for all the effort, and to the entire management team and teachers and professors and a lot of people who work behind the scenes. So I think enough of Gyan, and I'll now address the question that you answered, ma'am. So in terms of your question, in terms of how has business changed over the years? So I would just put it in a very simple two-dimensional way. Business essentially remains the same. Every business is formulated or formed or established to cater to a problem or cater to a customer need. And as long as each one of you all is focusing on the customer, you won't go wrong. That's number one. Second is, a business has an objective of some objective, right? You're in the business of making money or in the business of profit, right? So whenever you're working in organization, make sure that you're adding value. So these are the two basics, right? But of course, I'll pass it on to other esteemed panelists. These are my views, ma'am. What's your name, ma'am?
Andrea.
Andrea. Okay, thank you. Do you want me to pass it on to anybody?
Yes. If anybody would like to add in their input, so what they feel is how business has evolved over the years.
Yeah, sure. In the morning, Gaurav and I were talking because we are classmates. Okay, that was not part of the introduction, so I wanted to highlight that. And then we were discussing what are we going to actually talk to students. I said we don't have to worry because we are having our seniors here. Right? So the benefit of having seniors around is that you don't have to face questions firsthand. Right? Like you just saw, I picked up the mic and gave it to him. Right? So in that sense, your batch is very, very lucky. You have got good set of alumni who have lived this life, did something in the corporate world before you. So you can always reach out to them. So that's a good thing for you. Now, because he has answered nicely, I'll want to put it in an example format, the answer to the question that Andrea asked. What has changed in the business or how it has changed? I remember when I was kid, I was going to the typing institute. How many of you have like gone to a typing institute? Very few. In our age, like in our world, this was very common, because if you do not know how to type, you will not get a job. But then, if you look at what typewriters do, they just automate the thing. Your handwriting is bad, you want it to be legible, so you learn typing and your things will be like read by anybody. So that's first phase of business automation. Then came laptops and computers. What they do? They automate, right? Plus, if there are some spelling mistakes that you have done, they also correct that. So that's smart automation, right? And now all of you must be knowing about ChatGPT. Yes. Perfect. That's super smart automation, right? So just in the span of last 20 years, this much has changed. And if you see the evolution of technology, it is always like a hockey stick. You don't see anything, you don't see anything, you don't see anything. Then you see something and then suddenly everything changes, right? So whatever we will be talking today, don't take it on the face value of it, because post-generative AI and post-AGI, the world is going to change drastically. The things that needed 10 people to do probably will need a single person. And if you're talking on a little longer time frame, probably 0 person, right? So whatever we say today, please take it with a pinch of salt. So in 20 years, we have moved from typewriting to ChatGPT, and this is going to change a lot. That's my take on that.
So that's kind of a natural transmission, I think. Senior to peer, and then I'll pass it on to my juniors. All right. So like Manda said, typewriters to computers to generative AI. I think similarly every industry has grown. And if you, I don't know, you guys are too young to have, even seen the cassettes. Have you guys seen cassettes? Yes. Cassette players? Yes. What, pictures or in real? So basically we have seen that transition. I mean, we are the generation which has seen the most transition in the world, or most transformation in the world. We have seen cassettes going into DVDs, and even DVDs are getting lost now, right? Similarly, every business has transformed everything. I mean, I remember when I started working with EasyS Solutions 9 years back, we used to develop proposals by scouring the internet and identifying what are the right things, and then talking to a lot of people that what are the best practices we follow, how do we do this, So collect that information by meeting people. Now everything is available right at the laptop. So you don't really have to go and meet people. Everything is available. So things have changed significantly, substantially. I mean, I don't know. And where it will go with AI, am I using it very close? All right. Am I audible clearly, or? All right, that's great. So with the introduction of AI, I mean, nobody can predict actually what will happen. And people are now started talking about responsible AI. So AI can do a lot of things for you, but what if AI, you must have seen pictures, movies like iRobot, and there's many movies like that. And everything that we have seen earlier in movies and cartoons is coming true. Right? It's like, what do we call that? Deja vu. All right. So businesses are also changing likely. And I think you guys need to be prepared to adapt the new technology and be, competitive in the race. So that's my say in that. For your perspective, all you have to do is look in front, see what is trending, what will stay for long. It's not just about trending, things trended. So if you remember last few years, everybody was talking about cryptocurrency. Cloud is there. Cloud is there. Cloud is not going to go anywhere. But cryptocurrency. But now no one is talking about cryptocurrency, right? Maybe people were not able to find out the right use cases. In some use cases, they are there. We don't know, because in India, probably we do not have those many use cases, right? But maybe coming time, we might have few use cases. But you need to understand what will stay for long and what might disappear very quickly, and build your skills accordingly. So that is it about future.
Okay, thank you. I'm from the batch 7-9, and out of 29 states, you are here. It means your research is good. You are in good hands here. You are in one of the best institute in Pune. Wherever we go, we carry the name of the institutes. Please make sure whenever or wherever we go, we carry the name of the institutes. We are the product of this institute. We feel very proud whenever we come to here. So there is no greater honor than this. Once you were a student, today you are delivering the lecture in the same auditorium. Okay, so before I go on, I always start with IIEBM jingle. So I want that juice in you today. So are you ready for the same?
Yes, sir.
Okay, shall I start?
Yes, sir.
Give me I.
I.
Give me I.
I.
Give me E.
B.
Give me B.
B.
Give me M. IIEBM. Okay, that's very nice. Okay, so basically I'm from manufacturing. I'm not from the IT industry, but I would like to correlate what we learned here in IIBM during my time 7-9 batch, and how it is correlated with the industry. What do they expect? Okay, so फिक्र इस बात की नहीं कि मंजिल मिली नहीं, फ़क्र इस बात का है कि कारवां जारी है. So this is the motto, and so see, during my time, our time 7-9 batch, we didn't have much to do, so many activities as you have today. Okay, so but what we learnt, we learnt time management here. Wagmare was the key person for time management. So we learnt a lot from him. It's really so 8 means 8. 8:01 नहीं चलेगा तो नहीं चलेगा. Otherwise you will be have a collection of funds there. Okay, you will have to pay from your pocket. But what we learned from that, it comes out, and we learned the time management. हमें पता था यार कल के दिन फिर रोकेगा, फिर 50 रुपये मांगेगा, फिर परसों 100 रुपये फाइन पड़ेगा, है ना. इट विल गो टू द एलुमनाई, फॉर द एलुमनाई, और इनके फेवर में जाएगा. लेकिन प्रॉब्लम ये है कि इफ़ यू आर लर्निंग, इफ़ यू आर कमिंग हियर, यू हैव टू लर्न द टाइम मैनेजमेंट. डिसिप्लिन सीखा हमने हमारी क्लासेज होती थी अर्ली मॉर्निंग. इट स्टार्ट फ्रॉम, है ना, 8-9 o'clock टू टिल इवनिंग. हम 10-10 बजे तक इस ऑडिटोरियम में रहे हैं. ऐसा भी देखा हमने 10:30 पे हम रात को डिनर करने जाते थे नीचे कैंटीन में. ऐसा भी टाइम देखा हमने. इट वॉज लाइक दिस. क्लास में नींद आती थी, ऐसे ऐसे लटकते थे. हाँ, दैट इज. बट वट वी लर्न, है ना, पेशेंस, धैर्य सीखा हमने यहाँ पे, है ना. और वो पेशेंस आज इंडस्ट्री में काम आता है. Okay, I would like to throw some examples. Sorry, I won't take much time. The panelists are more here, so I won't take more than 10 minutes. We have been supplying to John Deere. John Deere is a company. They are the manufacturer of tractor. So John Deere में basically बहुत सारे लोग IITians होते हैं. IIT खड़गपुर से, IIT मुंबई से बहुत सारे आते हैं. सो हमने एक केविन के लिए एक पार्ट सप्लाई किया जॉन डियर के लिए. केविन इंसुलेशंस के लिए, साउंड प्रूफिंग इंसुलेशन में यूज़ होता है. तो जब पता चला कि वो ट्रैक्टर सप्लाई हो चुके हैं यूरोप के लिए, अब यूरोप में चला गया ट्रैक्टर, और उनको अभी पता चला सनसवाड़ी प्लांट से, यहाँ पुणे में सनसवाड़ी प्लांट की प्रॉब्लम आ गई है केविन में. यूरोप में प्रॉब्लम आई, उन्होंने कॉल किया सनसवाड़ी प्लांट को. सनसवाड़ी प्लांट ने नीचे के सप्लायर को कॉल किया. हम आए, बातचीत हुई, सारे लोग बैठे हुए हैं. ऐसा लग रहा था कि जैसे खा जाएंगे अभी पकड़ करके. सारे लोग घेरे हुए हैं, IITians वहाँ सब रिसर्च कर रहे हैं. वो बात भी ऐसे करते हैं, हाँ, व्हाट इज इट इज़ न्यूटन्स थर्ड लॉ, F=ma. ओके, इतने मीटर, वो दे टॉक लाइक दिस ओनली. सो व्हेन एवर यू गो, यू हैव टू फेस द सिचुएशंस. सो अभी मैं गया तो सबसे पहले तो एक्सेप्ट किया, हाँ सर गलती हो गई सर, वी विल मेक इट करेक्ट. सो अब ये हुआ, फिर एक डिपार्टमेंट से दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट चक्कर, दूसरे से तीसरे, तीसरे से चौथे, चौथे डिपार्टमेंट, सब जगह हमें अटेंडेंस ऐसी लगानी पड़ रही थी और फिर उसके सामने बैठना पड़ा था. पर अल्टीमेटली व्हाट आई वांट टू से, हाउ टू टैकल. Okay, so you have to learn art of getting things done through the people. Okay, so you will be learning here. And बहुत सारे सिमिलर केसेस हैं जो हमने देखे हैं यहाँ पे उसमें. सो मैं चाहता हूँ कि आपका फोकस रखे लर्नेबिलिटी पे. यू नीड टू इंक्रीज योर लर्नेबिलिटी, नॉलेज मैनेजमेंट, learn about the market, learn about the share market. Okay, have the knowledge of everything. So this is what I want. I'll pass it on to Devesh sir. Ma'am, Rajnidhi ma'am.
Hi everyone. So see, a few things Rakesh sir already said, which are never changing, by the way, are coming up on time, being disciplined, all of these things. Those were same at their time also, at our time also, and it'll remain same for everybody henceforth. I mean, even after your batches also, that'll remain same. But if you see, business has changed a lot. I would want to throw a few keywords and you'll understand exactly what happened. Okay, COVID, right? You know what happened. Right now Mandar sir and Gaurav sir were talking about OpenAI, right? So see, pre-COVID the world was actually growing, but after COVID it has become COVID, I see it as an opportunity. When last time I was communicating with, interacting with students from the past batch, I said the same thing, that this is your opportunity, because things after this will definitely change. If you have noticed, all of us has a very common word in all of our profiles. Do you want to tell me what is it? I can't hear you. That is there, but I said the profile. That is of course there. That is of course there, but no. Most of us has the keyword called digital. All of us are somewhere or the other working on some or the other digital projects. That's the biggest change, what I would say, is from that's something which is changing, and we will have to learn on how to navigate through these changes. So that's something is changing. So I was talking about generative AI, and I would want to bring up one more keyword in front of you guys. I would want, probably this is a homework for all of you, that I would want you guys to go back and maybe just search co-pilots. What is a co-pilot? Can just give me a simple meaning of a co-pilot? Because sir just mentioned that a work which is being done by 10 people probably can be done by just one person. What is a co-pilot? How exactly it will be done by just one person? So that is a change which you all will notice probably in very next. Just now, you'll face it. So, co-pilot. Can somebody tell me what is a co-pilot? Yes.
Jai Hind, ma'am.
Jai Hind.
I am Abhinav Agarwal.
Hi, Abhinav.
So, ma'am, basically, co-pilot has intervened the Microsoft. You can see that ChatGPT has intervened Microsoft.
We'll not talk about technology right now. Just give me the simple meaning of co-pilot.
Okay,
because I understand what exactly you're saying. Yeah. But I want to, for everybody's understanding, just tell me what is a co-pilot so that we can make them explain, as I can gauge now that you understand what I'm talking about right now. Okay, so can you just give me a simple meaning of co-pilot? Yeah, in layman English, just tell me what is a co-pilot.
Yeah, co-pilot is basically that has intervened the Microsoft, and that like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Yeah, but I don't know the exact definition of that. But as far as I know, it is intervened all the Microsoft softwares. Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you what is a co-pilot.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am.
Can anybody tell me in simple English what is the meaning of a co-pilot? What does a co-pilot do? Yes, please. Jai Hind. Okay, so all of us have over here traveled in a plane, right? What does a co-pilot do? Exactly. So when the captain is when there is a captain, the captain just starts the flight and just transfer it to the co-pilot. Okay. Now, if you think that everything, whatever you're doing, is taken care by that simple person or maybe two people in the cockpit, it's not true. There is an assisting system which is called a co-pilot, and this is what exactly is happening in the industry right now. The co-pilots, which are again the byproduct of generative AI, and maybe for example ChatGPT has a lot of intervention into it, but co-pilots are something which is now probably overtaking. So please go ahead and start maybe just reading about co-pilots, because I think in the future managers or management people like us will have to have that knowledge to understand how exactly it is working and how to not let them take over everything. You will have to learn that. So that's something I would want to add, that along with the digital everywhere, everything being very digital, OpenAI OpenAI is something, or AI, I would say in simple terms, is something which is now changed and we all need to learn about it. So second homework for all of you is go back to your dorms and maybe just sign up for a ChatGPT account and probably just give him, I should call him now because it's a part of our team. So give it some sort of prompts or commands, maybe simple letters to your parents, and see how exactly it is, responding to your queries. So that is something you all need to learn, because machines can't, correct. Machines can't make you do your work. You will have to make machines to do their work. And that's what exactly you will have to learn. Learn how to operate all of these systems. Use your management studies, because that's something only, if you understand the business, that's something can be taken care by anybody else. So learn about the business, learn about the running trends, because that's how you're going to navigate through these changing, landscapes.
We see now that there are so many changes in the business that is taking place. So would you like to discuss about what are the common challenges that business is now facing? And
let me.
I'm sorry, sir.
Jai Hind, everyone. Jai Hind, sir. So I would like to add few things with regards to the changes we are seeing and we have seen over the last decades. So we always worried about new innovation, as we see, right? So when ATM came in, the first ATM launched in India, the opposition government opposed it, saying that it will consume job. And now we are having UPI. So with the advent of technologies, we are seeing Zomato, the food delivery, or we are seeing Phone Pay, Paytm. They have not cut the jobs. Even they have bring the more jobs, right? What we are seeing. So similarly, the GPT, AI, whatever we are seeing, so we are also anticipating that it might, bring more jobs, but with that direction. It can just shift that job, right? From the one who is typing letter, a clerk, you will have a mobile. So I've just started using ChatGPT, and my observation is that if I stuck with some formula in Excel, rather than looking for that formula in Excel, I'll just press some keywords in ChatGPT and got the formulas. Same with the SQL queries. So in ChatGPT, I would encourage everyone should just try opening ChatGPT account, and right from your leave application to love letter to resignation letter, you will get everything, right? So I have found everything in ChatGPT. Whatever the problem you are having, you just need to write that I am having this. But there is some challenges I would like to highlight. So there is a standard answer stored in ChatGPT, right? It is not, it will go to the web and try to find out a single format of resignation letter or single format of a query which you have, which you would like to do. So for everything, if you would like to do, let's say if you would like to do some automation in Excel or automation in SQL, there are multiple ways available. But ChatGPT will give you only one way, right? So human intelligence will always there, and it will always win over the technology, right? I think it will take lot of years to, win the human intelligence. It will always be there. So my request to all of you that don't be bogged down with new technology, just to learn it and try to improve it and try to win it. That is what my message is.
I'll just pick up from where just sir finished off. And if you look at the new process of business, there are two types of learning. One is on-the-job training, and the other is you prepare yourself beforehand and then you jump into the case, right? So that process is already gone, that you prepare yourself. You don't know what is coming ahead, right? If you are also aware that day by day it is changing, step by step it is changing. Every day the process of business is changing. Every day the process of communication is changing. So I believe is you prepare yourself in such a way that when you step into the field, you're prepared to face any challenge that comes in your way. You're ready for facing those challenges with your heads held up high. You don't say that, sir, I cannot do this. Or sir, it is not that's not my cup of tea. In today's world, the corporates are not ready to hear these words that it's not my cup of tea. If it's not your cup of tea, you're not welcome here. You're free to go. There are people standing in line who will come in, take the job, they'll take it seriously, they'll go ahead, they'll do it by hook or crook. I don't know if you have read it somewhere. Bill Gates once asked Bill Gates once told, I don't want hardworking people. I want smart people. The hardworking person will do the job, no issues. But the smart person will find a way, by hook or crook, he will do the job, but he'll get it done. So there is nothing that cannot be done. There is a solution to everything. You have your ears, you have your eyes. Keep your eyes and ears sharp open. Listen to any discussion going on all around you. Maybe you're sitting in a CCD. Maybe you're traveling somewhere, you have a co-passenger. Listen to what they are talking about. It's not that you have to indulge in that discussion. You listen to it. In the morning when you're up, just go to the news or go through LinkedIn. You'll see so many updates coming up. Maybe it's of no use to you, but you are aware of it. One fine day, someone asks you something about it, it will click. Yes, I am aware of it. There is some input that I can give. There are two types of people in this world. One who looks at the pit. Say, suppose you have a pit in front of you, a big pit, huge pit. There's one person who will look at it and he'll decide, how should I go, if I get inside, how should I come out? He'll make a judgment. He'll figure it out, that if I go from this end, I can come out from that end. And there is another person who first takes the leap, gets inside the pit, and then he makes out, I am already inside the pit, I have nothing to do now, I have to get out anyway. So you decide what you want to be. In both ways, you will have to have patience. Like sir said, you need to have patience. In this running world, you need to have patience. You'll not get everything at once. The world is moving very fast. Even in my first interview in Reddington, me having a background of BBA and then coming to do MBA, I don't have an engineering background. And Reddington India Limited is completely based on IT products, right from hardware to software, right? So the first question he asked me, he was the president HR. So he asked me, Biswajit, you don't have a technical background. How do you think you can cope up in this company? My answer was straightforward. I was straightforward. I was confident that, sir, the technology is changing every minute we talk, every step we take, and we are getting used to it. Every day something new is coming up, some new application is coming up, some new technology is coming up. Aren't we getting along with it? We are getting along with it, right? It hardly takes time. So I told, sir, I will also get into it. It'll take me some time. It'll take a week. That's the minimum time you will also give me to gel in the company. So I'll get into it. I'll get along with it. I'll learn along my job. Finally, I got selected. I don't know what he saw into me, but he selected me. So in interviews also, be confident. There is no right answer. There is no wrong answer. As long as you can justify your answer. The moment you justify your answer, you are correct. Right? Thank you.
My next question to the panel is that in business you encounter a lot of challenges. So like what are the challenges that you all have encountered? If you all could share your experience and how you all overcame these challenges.
Let's start with the lady because corporate world has changed, right? Give the chance.
All right, we was talking at the lunch table that Nandini will be singing a song for us today. So, you want the song first or the answer first?
We've forgotten the question now. Go ahead.
See, these are the kind of problems we face. They're seniors, they're just bullying me, nothing else. I'm just kidding. They're very, I mean, honestly, you know, out of the context, they are all of them are really sweet and very, very supportive, really helpful, all of them, you know, and somewhere or the other, every one of them has helped me out. So I'm very grateful to God that, you know, I've got so good seniors. This is just the way of expressing their love for me, so that's okay. Okay. Challenges, if I talk about, see, I really feel that, as you know, just sir said, that business remains the same. Okay. If I go in the depth and tell you the problems which we face, you know, as role wise or industry wise, there are many. You'll have the list of it. But just now he said that, you know, you'll have to learn how to tackle those problems and maybe just resolve it. Okay. So there will be problems. I can't really, you know, just mention one problem and, you know, tell you that this is the solution to it. But there will be problems a lot along the way. And you'll have to just, you know, learn, because you know what, every day you'll get a new problem. It is the pattern in, you know, in offices or in the industries where we work. I'll give you an example of very simple problem wherein, you know, somebody will come up and tell me that I want immediate leave. I can't give you. So these are the very major, minor problems, but there are major issues also, which, you know, I think they vary from business to business. And all of you will face some of the other problems every day. So just make it a note to, you know, just if you can tackle it, great. If you can't, then to tackle it. You have no issues. So just no substitute to it. Just learn to resolve the issues and then we're good to it. Good to go. I mean, just learn to live with them. So it's okay.
Absolutely, Nandini. I think you nailed it. So basically, we cannot give the list of challenges we have faced because everybody has their own lives and own challenges. When we came here as students, we had a challenge of finding a place to live and how to commute and where to eat. You know, we used to even buy bread and butter separately and then used to have breakfast. And three or four of us, we used to buy. And earlier then, our institute was at Pride Silicon Plaza and in front of university. So there we used to go downstairs and you know, buy bread and butter and then eat that. So challenges are part of life and everybody would have different challenges. And Rajani, like she said, all we need to do is learn how to tackle the challenges. So no point of discussing what challenges we faced. It's how do we deal with challenges is important. So that's just a mindset. And I think you're at the right place. You'll get that automatically.
I would like to add here some point. Basically, I'm from the manufacturing, so I see a lot of challenge in manufacturing unit. Those who want to make their career in HR. So I've been into Sanaswadi working with the industry where more than 12 years. So what we face basically, legal issues we face. See, people from the local background, they usually come to the companies, they said कि हाँ ये मेरा फलाना है, इसको नौकरी पे लगा दो, ये पोस्ट चाहिए. They demand like this. It is true. I'm putting the true example of this. Canteen भी मेरी होनी चाहिए, दूध भी मेरा होना चाहिए. हाँ, it's like that. You will have to face the issues like this only. It's true. And how do we tackle out of such situations? आते हैं लोग people usually pressurize in the industries like this somewhere. So those who are going for HR, they have to be more vigilant. So उनको देखना है, समझना है, सोच समझ के आंसर्स देना है. So what I feel basically in the industries, we need to work on the contingency plan. We don't know what is about to be happen after this. We don't know what risk is about to come now. Risk can come to any organization. कहीं से भी आ सकता, कहीं से कुछ भी हो सकता है. Pandemic अचानक से आया है ना, ऐसी कुछ भी रिस्क आ सकता है. तो we need to make our contingency plan. Contingency plan A fail हुआ तो go for the B plan. B fail हुआ तो go for the C plan. आपको potential failures रोकने हैं. You have to stop the potential failure. You have to find the gap. Okay, you have to upgrade your skills. So innovation and skills and आपको training, आपको upgrade करना है अपने आप से. So this is what I feel. Anyone would like to add?
So this is something I missed upon. Sir just said that you should be skilled enough to understand what will be your problem, maybe 3 steps forward. If you try and maybe just get to know that problem, or maybe just project, or maybe just estimate that this could be one of the issues, you should be ready with your plan. This is something I would say to avoid the problems at all. It might fail, but you will always have a solution to it if you in future if you get that problem or challenge. So that's something I would want to add up here. And since I was talking about manufacturing as an industry, I would want all of you to maybe just think about a few more booming industries which are post-COVID are like blooming like anything. One of those is healthcare and pharmaceuticals. Because post-COVID, that industry has shown tremendous growth. So along with that, healthcare, manufacturing, of course, because now India is focusing on Make in India products and, so that is one. And second is, please think about how you can, maybe just get an internship or maybe get the, some jobs or something into healthcare and pharmaceuticals. That will open up your, profile growths like a rocket. So please think about that too. That was out of context, but I just wanted to, mention that. Just think about those 2 industries too.
Yeah, I would like to add, I've taken Gaurav's permission before I share this example, because it's his example, right? He's not native IT person, though he's very good with technology. He was working in finance sector first, and then he moved to IT. And as part of his job, he was responsible to make proposals. And IT proposal needs IT input, right? You cannot have IT proposal done by a non-IT guy. And most of the time he was told by his senior to go and talk to the seniors who can give him information about the proposal. And he was not going to them, right? 1 day passed, 2 days passed, 3 days passed. Luckily his boss knew me. He came to me and he knew that we are friends. He said, "Yaar, wo Gaurav baat kyun nahi kar raha unse?" I said, I'll talk to him. Why is he not talking? So I went and talked to Gaurav over tea, and he said he told me something very interesting, that, hey, he's a director, how can I just walk in? Because he was coming from finance industry. There you need to get an appointment. These directors live in a cabin. Right? There's a completely different culture out there. And in IT, you just walk in, ask whatever you want to ask, and you get out. Right? You even call people by their first name. Right? I have this big problem when these people call me sir, because after serving almost 2 decades in IT, I feel like first name is okay, but in manufacturing you go and dare somebody ask their first name, you will have it. So you will definitely have this cultural thing. If you are coming from one industry culture and moving to another industry culture, so you will have big problem, and you will see this industry-wide jumps happening more, because more industries want to collaborate with other industries so that they can have get the innovation that has happened in the other industry. For example, she was telling you about healthcare. So how healthcare operates, manufacturing industries want to know that. In fact, if you know Ford, he got the idea of conveyor belt from slaughter industry, right? So things like that would happen. Plus, there's one big problem that we have not faced, but you are going to surely face it, is you are going to manage people who are much, much senior than you. They will start reporting into you because you would be manager, and not just manager who knows newer technologies. So you'll be placed as like manager, senior manager, AVP directly probably, if some of you are brilliant. And then you will want to get things done from a person who is 50-year-old. And you are tuned until now to respect seniors, right? Uncle hai, mama hai, right? We have this habit of respecting them. But in the job, your job is to get things done because you are manager. Yeah. So now, how do you balance this thing? You will have this big problem because the more you know technology, the more up you are placed in the hierarchy, right? Yeah.
So I always tend to think in terms of fundamentals and basics, right? So great inputs from all my colleagues and fellow panelists. So just coming back to fundamentals, some things that will never change irrespective of where we are. Never compromise on your integrity. There will be a lot of challenges that you will face. Shortcuts, never be ever be tempted to that. Mandar mentioned about hierarchies, reporting structures, complex HR structures in organization. But your basic respect for people should always stay, because it's always a two-way street. Your integrity should be unflinching. Whatever the situation is, your reputation should be of highest record. No chat GPT in the world, no technology in the world can get your reputation back. So, work with your, maximum ethics, integrity. Mandar also touched upon a point where you would be placed in very, very senior levels. So your organizations are going to trust you with their resources, funds, power to authorize, purchases, relationships, travel, a lot of things. I'll share one example in my starting career with DuPont, which is a US multinational. One of my colleagues lost a job because he just submitted a long laundry bill. It was not about the laundry bill. It was about a reflection about just claiming that 100 rupees when he did not spend it. So poor guy lost his career ahead of him. So there'll be a lot of situations where you have to think and reflect. Is it the right thing to do? Okay, so that's number one. Second is we spoke about the changes and challenges that you will deal with. So a lot of the consumer level examples were touched here. I'll just touch upon a quick industrial level example. So, in India, trucking is used to transport goods from one place to another. And this was always limited by how much trucks could travel in a day. And it was a feature of how much a driver could sustain the trip. If the driver is tired in 8 hours, your delivery will be delayed by beyond that. How technology has helped? Now you have sophisticated apps where a certain driver will deliver up to a point, say from Pune to Indore. That driver will get down. There will be another driver who will be, deputed from Indore to go up to Delhi. And this happens in a very real-time manner. So what I'm trying to say is that technology will always be an enabler, but you'll have to always think, what's the purpose of the business? The purpose of the business is to deliver goods from A to B in the most efficient manner, in the most cost-effective manner, and my customer should get it quickly. So this will always remain true. One thing I've learned across my sort of long innings with the private sector and international government and very complex ecosystem is ultimately you're serving a customer in any field, right? And you have to just stop, reflect, and pause and see that is my action benefiting the customer? Am I adding value? And it can be at any stage. So I'll give you a very simple example of this room. So just take a step back. So for us here, we are the producers, or we are the people who are sort of producing information or insights for you. You are the audience, which means you are our customers. At this stage, we haven't even asked you what your questions are. So are we serving a customer purpose? We are giving you something that's more of what's in our mind, right? So always stop and reflect what you're doing. Is it in line with what your customer need is or expectation is? I'm sure a lot of people are confused. They're saying, why this example? I'm not able to relate to it. It's so confusing. It's so high level. But again, some of my colleagues mentioned that don't feel shy of asking questions. You can always stop us and say that, sir, ma'am, this is too much of mumbo jumbo. Can you simplify things for us? So those things matter. So this will be the difference for you. So sir mentioned about the complex manufacturing industry, right? You will have colleagues from IITs, IIMs and all that. Never feel inferior to anybody. You know, if you ask the right question, you will be in the center stage of that room. So for example, I was also looking at the entire audience right now, expecting one person to stand up and say that, you know, can I ask a question, or, you know, this is not working for us. Don't ever be at the receiving end, you know. If you do not understand, do not follow, stand up, be that person in the room, use your communication, say that this is great, add to the insights, you know, ask questions. Did you have a lunch? Okay, so I asked you a question and you answered in yes or no, and that's the end of the conversation. But if I turn it around and say, what did you have for lunch? It becomes a pretty, you know, long answer, and that gives us an opportunity to have a conversation. So I think the way you answer your questions in a complex work setting also matters. So don't feel shy asking, open-ended questions, you know, where you will be in a position to start a conversation with your stakeholders, with your customers, suppliers, producers. So that's a quick sort of nugget from me. I'll come back again, but maybe I'll just pass it on to somebody else.
Thank you, sir. I'll just pick up from where sir left. Like, whenever you have problems, like sir said, never feel shy to ask a question. So I just want to ask you something. You want to ask a question and remain fool for 5 minutes, or you don't want to ask a question and remain fool for your lifetime? That's a question to you, right? You ask a question, you are a fool to everyone for 5 minutes, right? You got your answer. Now you're knowledgeable. The others are also knowledgeable. Fine. That's what I said. The other day also I said, keep your ego somewhere else. Don't carry it along with you. Whenever you're entering your workspace, keep it outside. Again, when you're leaving your workspace, take it in your bag and go home. That's it. You keep in mind that you will face challenge every day with your colleagues, with your customers. It's the way how you bring up yourself and tackle it. Always remember, your customers will always have problems with your company, with wherever workspace you have. It's how you deal with it. It's like, घर पे तो किसी के साथ झगड़ा कर लूंगा यार, ये तो मेरा ही घर है, मैं किसी के साथ झगड़ा कर लूंगा, कस्टमर के साथ कौन झगड़ा करेगा? I cannot quarrel with my customers. They are giving me orders. With their orders, I am benefiting my salary. I am like, justifying my salary with their orders. So I cannot have a quarrel with him. I can have a quarrel with my boss. I can have a quarrel with my colleague. उसमें कुछ नहीं होता है. वो फॉर्मल है. I'll have a quarrel with him. वो तो होता रहता है. आज होगा, कल नहीं होगा. वो होता रहता है. So never feel afraid to go ahead and ask a question. Never go, never feel afraid to fight with your colleagues. No issues. Like, you don't keep the ego. The next day it's all the same. कल झगड़ा किया, आज फिर ठीक है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. And also one more thing, like we often we are into the corporates. We are aware that the maximum input, the valuable inputs are always from the informal meets. What we have away from the offices, not in the offices. Like, we go out for a drink or a social, the main discussion comes out there. The actual discussion comes out there. So you might get your solution there as well. The main challenge I faced when I entered the corporate, first few months I was not getting any orders. I could not bring any orders on my own. My superior, my reporting manager, he asked me, Biswajit, what is your input in the company? I told, sir, I'm trying my level best. I'm not being able to do it. He was the one who, you used to push me. You used to shout at me. You used to drop mails, like anything. But, I kept hold on myself that, yes, I will find a solution. I spoke to my colleagues. Sir, how do I find a solution to it? I'm not getting orders. No, I'm not getting any orders. Am I going wrong somewhere? Ask yourself, which area you are going wrong? Ask your colleagues, ask your friends, am I going wrong in this way? Find a solution to it. Yes, I'm going wrong in this way. Correct. correct yourself. Correct yourself and move ahead. Don't let someone else pressurize you and move in his path or her path. Take your own stand. Pave your own way and follow that. Stay strong to make your own decisions. Make your own decisions, stay confident on it, and move on. That's it. Thank you.
As we are talking about navigating the changing landscape of business, we hear all about data. Now, data is here, data is the future, data-driven decisions, business intelligence. So what is your opinion about this changing how business is done?
See, with digital technologies coming in, I mean, you will never fall short of data. But I want to tell you one story of data which is very close to me. It was in my early career. So I was working into IT services company, and we want more and more overseas customers to come and visit our website, right? So there's something called as Google Analytics. I hope you have at least heard the name of it. Whether you can use it or not, that's a different story. You will learn it over the period. But there's this Google Analytics which tells you how many people have come to your website. Okay. So there was this particular instance where in my report there was a dip of 20% visits, and I was so sad. Okay. I took the report to the boss. There's no reason to hide those numbers, because in digital world everything is open and transparent. And he abused me like anything. Okay. In good words. So I went back and I was so sad, and then I said, okay, let me look the country-wise data. So the drop from India was 40%, and the target market of ours was North America. There, I mean US, it was actually 12% or 13% rise in visit. Then I took the same report, went to the same boss, and now he's happy. Right? Nothing has changed. It's just my understanding of the data and how deep I want to go to get my insights out of that data changes everything. Now you'll have ample of data, right, to process. How you are processing it matters a lot. Just today I got to see some number which startled me. Is the number one reason for infant death in India is domestic pollution. The domestic pollution which happens through chulha and all, right? And so the Ujjwala Yojana is a great tool to fight that. What are the numbers and what are the political? I'm not going into that, but I was not knowing that the domestic pollution is the number one reason for infant deaths in India, right? So we are very habitual to see this, that malnutrition and this and that is the reason, but this is the number one reason, right? You will be surprised to know that diabetes is the number one cause of death when you compare it with road accidents. Or more people die out of road accidents than out of terrorism act, right? So whatever data is being thrown at you, try to validate that data in your own sense, whatever tool you want to use. So that's number one thing when it comes to data, how deep you want to go and how you want to access that data. That's one. Second is you want to learn the tooling of data. What I mean by that is, in our generation, if you know Excel, you are good for life, right? But in your generation, Excel is not going to suffice, because there's a good chance that you will be working with the data that is international. So just say there's one product and there's a revenue of that product coming from different territories. So one column will have say 1.2, but you know it is coming from US, so it is $1.2. And in India, the price of that product is say 50. Right. The conversion is 80 to 83, but let us say 50. You have to be mindful enough that, okay, from row number this to row number this is US, and from row number this to row number this is India. It is very difficult for you to do that kind of calculation every time in Excel. So you'll eventually want to go for Python and stuff like that. So equip yourself with the data tooling, because that is going to be the hygiene for you people. So that's my take on data.
Yeah, I have a few things to share. So it's a last night story actually. Last night I was in office with my colleague, and we had submitted a proposal to one of our customer, and they came up with a technology problem. and we developed a proposal for them. We gave them a solution. This is how we are going to solve your problem. And it was like a month, after which we followed up and they came back that saying that I think the perspective has changed. We are looking at some other, there's some other provider or some other solution provider. We are looking at that also. So we just said that who is that person? They gave us the URL. We had a look at them. We understood that what these guys are doing is not what you came to us as a problem for, right? They wanted a technology solution for a very specific problem, and now they're looking at something else. I will connect the dots, don't worry. Don't get lost. Just listen to the story. Now, once we knew what they actually wanted to achieve from the business perspective, we came up with some other solution. The solution was same, we just added a few things. For example, how the solution will benefit increasing their revenue. So in the US, in the insurance sector, there are terms like payers, providers, right? And they have some RAF score. This is called risk assessment factorization. So if any company can increase their RAF scores, and RAF scores are like 1.2, 1.3, right? So if they can increase their RAF scores even by, let's say, 0.1% or 0.1%, yeah. That is what we actually helped them with. So they had 5,000 members. So multiplied by this, and then there is some amount paid by the government to them, right? So that amount came out to be 6 million. The benefit that we gave them a proposal that we will help you increase your RAP score by 0.1%, and this is the kind of benefit you will get, 6 million annual revenue gain. And their entire thought process changed. They said, yes, this is exactly what we wanted to achieve. So basically what I'm saying here is the context of the data is very important. You need to understand the context of everything. So if we are just looking at the problem at the face of it, probably will not be able to understand what the customer wants to achieve. And data helps you understand that problem, but the context is equally important. Right? Guys, getting the point? You guys with me? आज मैं अपनी उस आवाज में बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ जिस आवाज में मैं करता हूँ. Probably everybody might be thinking, क्योंकि उस आवाज में मुझे माइक की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती. So I hope you can hear me loud and clear from here also. Yes, sir. You at the back? Yes, sir. Good. अच्छा कैमरे में नहीं हो? All right. This is for the camera. Sorry guys. All right. So मुझे खुद को थोड़ा dull feel हो रहा है इसकी वजह से. But anyways, I'll pass it on now.
So thanks, Gaurav sir. So when we talk about data, data plays a very important role in financial world and banking industry. So I'll just talk about the data governance and data quality, right? So one of the reason for 2008 crisis, the financial crisis we have seen in the world is poor data quality managed by the big financial institutions, right? So now the focus of all the financial institution and all other institution is to improve their data quality and data governance, right? So whatever the data they are using or whatever the data they are having is good or not, that is all about data quality, right? So there are so many banks and so many companies like Colibra are there in the market to take care of your data related needs, right? And there is lot of scope in data as of now, and there are so many courses where you can learn about the data quality and data management, data governance, and lot many things about data. And there are so many tools as sir suggested, but again at the same point of time the focus is on data quality. Whatever the data we are getting as an end result for our risk reporting or dashboards or whatever the reports we are seeing, we need to have that data error free, the complete data, accurate data, and on timeliness as well. So that's all from my side.
Sorry guys, one suggestion. So everybody is giving good inputs about career choices and the courses you can pick up, but don't you need to take your own choice. Don't think that whatever we are saying would be applicable to every one of you. You need to select your own path, then select your own courses or certifications or the skill set that you need. So understand we are talking from a general perspective, the topic perspective, but you need to select what you have to pick up from our discussion.
Andrea ma'am, with your permission, just want to check in with our customers if they are with us. So maybe I'll just open the floor, 2 questions from this side, 2 questions from this side. Take your time, you have maybe 30 seconds to think over your questions. But it'll be great if you can come up with 2 questions from this side and 2 from this side. Just so that we are all aligned in what's going on in your head. Yeah.
Yeah. So, एक मैं अपनी story बता ही देता हूँ because.
So sir ने बोला take your time और उसके बोल देते 30 seconds.
That's what happens in industry. You have all the freedom for next. Correct. As long as you deliver it on Monday, right? Simple. Let me tell you a funny story of mine. Like data पे हमने बहुत बात कर लिया, but there's another facet of data. So data is not only for your understanding; it is also important how you make other understand your data. So there's a story goes back to my days at IIEBM. I was working with Force Motors during my internship, and that year there was flood in Pune. Okay, so I couldn't go to field and meet lot many people. I was sitting at the stairs of this Force Motors. There's this old fellow, Vijon, right, very strict guy. He came in, just like passed by me, and then he realizes something that somebody is sitting on my stairs, office stair. So he came back. He said, "Who are you?" Just like you'd be called most of the time here now, right? But in more stricter voice, he asked, "Hey, who are you?" I said, like, "I'm doing internship here." "What is your internship?" He said, I told him that we are doing internship to understand the problems that are faced by the owners of 3-wheelers of Force Motor. He said, "Now it's been how many days?" So I said, 30 days. He said, "What have you learned in those 30 days?" So I gave him a very interesting answer. I told him, what I realized is it takes 1 paisa to take 1 kg goods up to 1 kilometer if they use our Force Motors vehicle. And this guy was working with Force Motor for more than 30 years. Okay. He said, "Are you serious about it?" Right. My project was not even to R&D. Right. I'm a marketer. Right. I said, "Yes, I'm very sure about it." He said, "Come in. Tell me, how did you arrive at this number?" So if you just like, I don't exactly recollect what were the petrol prices then, but it was just another way of saying 19 kilometer per mileage, liter का mileage नहीं है, 1 kg, 1 kilometer, right, 1 paisa. This sounds more interesting, right? I have not changed anything. I've just changed a little bit like how data is put forward so that you understand it better, right? तो वो भी आप data के साथ कर सकते हो.
Yeah, absolutely. How you communicate is very important.
You need to present your data everywhere.
You can, present to the management with 10 slides, but if in one line you can say that, this is where we need to address the issue, and this is what we can, again, back to our simplicity in terms of, what's the problem, who's our customer, are we solving a need, are we adding a value to our business, are we, solving a problem. Anyways, back to our questions. So who's ready with the questions? Okay, so let's start with you, ma'am.
Jain sir, Jain ma'am. My name is Shama Dubey, and my question is, everyone is talking about the variable things, the changing which is happening in business. I want to ask about the constant thing which is not changing in the business. So my question is, please tell me that one thing that is not changing at all, and we should have grip on that.
Okay, thank you, Shama. I'll answer that. Again, back to what I've been saying ever since I'm here. If you focus on a customer, that never changes. They'll always be a customer at the end of the business. You don't have to lose visibility. Like a few of my colleagues gave examples. You might get too obsessed with the technology that you're using, but don't miss that final problem statement. What is the value you're adding? Who is your customer? So that will remain common. At an individual level, we've had a few examples where your integrity, your work ethics is something that will never change, irrespective of where you work, what technology sector you're working in, what industry. So that's my 2 cents, Shama. I can pass it on to any of my colleagues to add any more inputs. Anybody?
I think the fundamentals.
Yeah, fundamentals.
I think he has put it correctly. Sir has said right things. Fundamentals never change. They are constant.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
And I think one more thing. So everybody talks about hard work and smart work, and people are looking for smarters, like my colleague said. He's correct. But the way to be a smart worker is by hard work. You need to understand the processes right from the deep root levels. Then only you will be able to perform the smart work. Otherwise, people will fool you. So don't leave hard work.
Sorry. So focus on profits is also not changing. It will also remain same. Okay. So since we are business management students, profit is something will never change, change as in that is something, the focus on profits of businesses will never change. So that will also remain constant. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll add one small thing to this, because this is not a problem for our generation, at least I believe. Business, when you talk about business, somebody has to take the responsibility of the business. So because we didn't face this problem, so we never thought about it. But probably for your generation, this is the most important thing. Who is going to take the responsibility? Because like we talked about generative AI, this and that, those things will give you options. Which option to choose is your responsibility. You cannot tell customer that, hey, I delivered you what my AI system gave me, right? Or here's a mental thought experiment. Imagine you are a driverless car maker, okay? There's an empty road in front of you. There's a boy who suddenly comes in, right in front of your car. What you should be doing as a driverless car maker? Should you ram that boy, kill that boy? Should you brake? But if you brake, if something comes from behind, who's going to take that responsibility of the accident, right? You will say, now there are two more options remaining. You can turn either right or you can turn either left. But let us assume on the right there's a small girl, and on the left hand side there's an old lady. Now out of these three people, whom do you kill? Who takes that responsibility, right? Because if you're running business, somebody has to take the responsibility. It's easy because we say CEO, but now that understanding will slowly fade away, because people will realize that even if the CEO is running the business, the decision of who's getting to killed by that car is probably done by an engineer, right? So that moral responsibility will be more important as technology will have more and more share in the operating of the businesses.
Thank you, Shama. Who's ready for the next question?
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks. Yes, ma'am.
Jai Hind to all the dignitaries. I am Kausalya Nakka from Andhra Pradesh. Here my question is, being optimistic in nature in the corporate is good or not for us?
I'll of course seek my help of my colleagues to answer that. But from my perspective, the current environment is actually very, very hyperactive in terms of our accessibility to digital tools. Right from our mobile phones to desktops to laptops to, we have screens everywhere. And that has a very profound impact on your thinking, your brain. I'm actually trying to answer that from a mind perspective, right? So your question with regards to optimism in current environment, it will be very, very important, because there will come a point in time where a lot of us, being in this hyperactive environment, we will have to deal with a lot of mind issues or mental health issues, right? Our ability to get in, our ability to get out of that environment, our ability to switch off, our ability to detoxify. I think as you grow into your jobs or in your personal life, do take that one moment to reflect, how much of dependence on technology you need. Because see, as human beings, we are, or our structures had been sort of constructed many, centuries back. The blueprint is very different. And our core is very primitive, as humans. We are adapting to technology, but do remember that every system has a tipping point. And each one of y'all will have to really, really make sure that if you want to be optimistic, if you want to be healthy from a mind perspective, you will have to really, weigh the pros and cons of everything that you do in terms of technology. I mean, we all know example, I'm just probably preaching to the converted, but just the whole use of mobile phones 8 to 10 hours a day has shown people have, effects of forgetfulness, anxiety, dementia, So all that, again, back to your question, ma'am, will have an impact on your positive outlook towards life and to your workplace. So that's my 2 cents. Happy to pass it on to any of my colleagues.
Very short answer. Depends on where you want to show your optimism. If somebody is asking like what our revenue should be next year, and if you are too optimistic and you say double, you will be in problem, right? So yeah.
That's true. And one more thing. So all your efforts start with your optimism. If you're not optimistic about something, you will not put in any effort. So it's really important.
I would like to add a point to Gaurav sir. You are the people in this time. You have the power to create machines. You can do anything. Okay, you have the power to make life more beautiful and free. So optimism means it will happen sometime. Education lonely है, tension है mind में. It is full with the tension. Okay, it will happen. This is the reality. Okay, नौकरी नहीं लगी, package कितने का लगेगा, all attention. But you have to be optimistic. Okay, you have to be very positive. You have to look forward for life in such a way. You have to be positive in life. You have to see the pictures. You have to work on the same. Okay.
Like Rakesh sir said, you have to see the future. You have to seek your future, where you want to see yourself somewhere. I've always look at this, you'll reach somewhere here, right? So you have to keep that aim. I have to reach there. I have to do that. You'll reach somewhere here. So that would be a satisfaction that I didn't give up. I went on, I reached certain level. So keep that mark. Keep a mark for yourself, work for it. Wherever you reach, be satisfied, go on with it. Take baby steps. Don't try to jump. You might fall and it might hurt really bad. So take baby steps and go ahead slowly. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Jain ma'am, Jain sir. My name is Aditya More. I am from Ratnagiri. So my question is, what will be the changes in marketing sector in Industry 5.0?
Amazing. First of all, we'll have to define what is Industry 5.0. Okay, but okay, futuristic. We can assume that it is a futuristic word. So how, what are the changes that will happen? Okay, imagine how you were buying products 20, 50 years back. TV पे ad आता था. You were watching something on the hoarding, right? Newspaper पे ads हैं. That's how you used to get to know the product. Or for like this is only for the 5% of the product. 95% of the product are just shown into you by the retailer. Right? Because you have no understanding of the brand and all. नमक हमने टीवी पे देख के बहुत कम मांगा है, उसके पास जो होगा वो लेके आते हैं, right? So that's how our preferences are built. But after digital world, okay, most of you people or the families of yours have moved to OTT, right? OTT पे problem क्या है? You don't see ads. So as a marketer, your opportunity to show ad is gone there because you are paying money. So customers are not wanting to see the ads. If you go to Google, last week Google is thinking of changing the UI. It is wanting to summarize the answer that you are searching for, which means if you have a website, it has become little more difficult for you to be seen by the users. तो वहाँ पे भी आपका किस्सा खत्म. Okay. So what all options are you left with to see the ads? to know the product?
On mobiles and all.
On mobile. What applications you consume on mobile?
Social media.
Okay. In that 1 hour feed consumption of yours, how many ads do you see actually? 4 or 5 or 6 max?
Yes, sir.
Nothing more than that. And for that 5-6 slots, there are so many marketers who will compete. Okay. So marketing will become more and more difficult because avenues of you putting your brand in front of the customers are shrinking with every day.
Right,
Okay.
sir.
So clever marketers should do this. They should get into content development. So you start creating your series where you are placing your products, or spun a complete series around your product. Okay. So that's what 5.0 is going to be, because there's no other option.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to add up here, since we are talking about 5.0. There is one more very difficult sort of, I would say, channel wherein people are now building up again, more or less like your AI only. But if you go back, for example, your Alexa or maybe your smart TV which you're using, there are apps which has the film of a coding which actually hears you out. Okay, so you might have, thought about that, I just have spoken about buying a shirt and you started getting an ad of that particular brand itself. That's something is 5.0. So when you start, maybe initiation or maybe beginning of 5.0, but there are such TVs. So I myself was working on a, probably a client or a vendor wherein they had this suggestion. I was with First Cry and they had this suggestion wherein they said that, we would want to build up this film of code onto your, maybe just insert the coding, that part of code into your app, wherein customers, if they're talking about buying products, the ads will start popping up into the several channels. So this is kind of complex marketing which we would, eventually get into. So that's the change.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks. Yeah, please. Anyone?
Jai Hind, everybody.
Jai Hind.
My name is Kalpesh. So my question is, if we want to sustain in marketing field, which is that one mantra you would like to give us?
Exactly. That's why I did not say anything.
One mantra, you'll have to keep learning new things every month, right? I'm sure half of these people may not know Omegle. Oh my God. Okay. Other panels where I participate, they do not know about it. All right. So what? Okay. So the point I'm wanting to highlight is there are new tools, new technologies coming up every day. If you just look at she was talking about OpenAI, and we talked about Copilot by Microsoft and this and that. It's not even 6 months, and there are more than 1,000 AI tools that can help you as a marketer do various things. You can create graphics, you can do automated editing of the video, you can do video captions, you can do speech to text, text to speech, lot many things. So problem is, how do you know out of those 1,000 tools which is the one that is going to help you, right? So if you want to be update with that knowledge, you will have to listen to more and more podcasts. I won't recommend just 30-second reels. Try to get habit of consuming long form content. What I mean by long form content is discussions on YouTube or long threads of conversation on Twitter, where you get to know various views about the market. That way you will understand the psyche of your buyer, and in the process you will also learn like what are the new tools and ways to reach out to those buyers. Yes, continuous learning is the only solution. And don't ever buy and read a physical book, because by the time that book is printed and reached you, it's already obsolete.
Thank you.
What is your mantra? What keeps you going on? What is your mantra?
My mantra is just go with the flow. Like which all skills are required?
I would like to add, market में sustain करना ना घिसना पड़ेगा. Really, this is the truth. हाथ गंदे करने पड़ेंगे, चेहरा काला करना पड़ेगा. You will have to go to the people. You will have to ask, sir दो ना, ये I'll do it ना sir. I'll pass it to. We do it like this only, है ना? और ये this is what it comes in the marketing. So पहला अगर आपको उद्देश्य है, घिसना पड़ेगा भाई, जाना पड़ेगा, है ना? You will have to do मेहनत मार्केट में. You will have to go to the people, ask for धंधा दे दो सर, बिजनेस दे दो. This is the true. Okay.
This is truth. मैं इसको थोड़ा सा और sophisticated way में बता.
Sure, sir, sure.
Right. घिसो वगैरह मतलब you have to be more observant. You have to be aware of what's happening around. I'll tell you a story of Japanese refrigerator manufacturer. Right. What they did is they did a small change in their refrigerator and their sales just rocketed up. So what they did in the refrigerator is they realized the population of Japan is aging. तो बुढ़े होते तो क्या होते हैं? ऐसे हाथ हिलते अपने, right? So when they were putting bottles or anything into the fridge drawers, they were not able to put it in first go. So this company, what did and the peculiar thing about Japan is they have this sort of pride in shrinking everything. Japan is equal to compact things, right? So they have made their fridge so compact that it was really difficult for these old age people to put those bottles into the drawer of the fridge, door drawers. This company just made those drawers little bigger and their sales rocketed up. So this will not come to you if you are not observant, if you are not gisifying yourself, okay? That's what he meant.
I guess back to who's your customer, what's the need, what's the challenge, you have to be observant. Technology is an enabler, remember that, but ultimately you got to use your mind, how you're going to solve the problem. So I think that basics to your question, ma'am, that remains all across industries.
I just wanted to say, and the mantra is for everyone, not just marketing. Each and every field. You have to keep learning. There is no choice.
Thank you so much for your outputs.
So हमारे टाइम में हमारा यहाँ पे मंत्रा होता था catch change by surprise. We catch change by surprise. Now it is let knowledge prevail.
Because if you are knowledgeable, you will always find solution.
Correct. So if you're knowledgeable, you'll automatically catch the changes by surprise. Yeah, right.
My next question to the panelist is, in today's globalized world, businesses often need to expand into international markets. So what are the key considerations for companies when navigating into these international markets?
I can take that because my current role with the New Zealand government is actually heavily into internationalization of our companies into global markets, right? And I'll just probably very quickly take you through the broader insights for companies. Initially, a lot of companies tend to think of source locally, produce locally, and export. It was a very linear model. Every country went through that. India mein banega, India mein produce hoga, and we'll put it on a container and sell it somewhere. Very linear, traditional model. That model has changed. Now, companies, if they have to survive, they have to source their raw material from X country, produce it in Y country, and their customers can be in a completely different country. So when you're working in your work environment, do not think of Pune, Mumbai, Maharashtra, India. Try and think of the global connections your business is making, number one. Second is communication. So I know a lot of business world communicates in English as a language, but you'll also increasingly see there'll be a lot of pressure on you to understand language in a very different context. You deal with Latin American markets, there could be Spanish, which is popular there. You could deal in China, you got to pick up Chinese words. You're working in Japan, they are very proud, as a country. They will, or you will have to adapt to their culture. So, that is a language is a second element. Third is a softer skill. So softer skills is basically about, do you understand how business is done in that country? I'll give you my example. So I was in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia for a deal, and at the end of the business meeting, I stood up and I wanted to shake hands with the MD of the company. She was a pretty influential lady, a billionaire almost, I think, part of a large group. But I think their personal beliefs were, they restricted themselves from shaking hands with male members. I did not know that, right? So a lot of these things you will learn as you travel, as you get exposed to global cultures, a lot of culture like Japan, China, Asian cultures focus on relationship before you start doing business. So you'll have to start focusing on that, and it happens with maybe lunches, socializing, talking to people about their families, getting to know what is of interest to them beyond business. Number 4. Number 5, there will be a lot of value, and this is a very constant feature, right? What you promise, you will have to deliver. Be it any country, be it any language. So that is your integrity part. So if you are committing something, think and commit and make sure that you have put all your resources to deliver that commitment. So number 6. Number 7 is typically what happens is in a international setup, the technology is enabling a lot of business, right? You are able to track where your containers are. You are able to track where your product is sitting, if it is stuck somewhere. Agar food product hai, spoilage ho gaya, to you are able to know your reefer containers ka temperature. So things are very sophisticated, right? So, but at the same time, like Mandar mentioned, there will be a lot of responsibility on you to own up any failures in the system. It cannot be that, sir, my containers are in Singapore, mujhe nahi pata kya hua hai. You as a company owner, as a brand owner, will have to make sure that your customer is, well serviced, well informed. They have visibility of what's going to happen next. So that's number 6. Number 7, this is something that I've, regularly picked up. Is you deal with a lot of very complex, government environments. So, ease of doing business. So, India is very different. A US market is very different in terms of some countries like New Zealand, you can start a company in a matter of 24 hours. In India, that same process could take anywhere between 6 to 30 days. It could be slightly more complex in maybe South African markets. So as you grow in your hierarchy, you will have to keep your mind open to a lot of other things. Apart from your core responsibility as a marketer, as a brand owner, as a finance person, as a HR person, you'll also have to think in a global context. And, finally, I'll also share from my experience. I think what never changes is the people-to-people connect. That never goes away. So do focus on your soft skills. Soft skill will involve as simple as, how you dress up for a meeting. It would involve in terms of your dining etiquettes. Are you able to adapt to an international, partner or a client? Are you able to be flexible to their dining requirements? I remember in one of my international trips, I was offered dog meat, and that, of course, didn't go with my sentiments, right? But I had to politely, manage that situation without offending my host. Because my host did not know that as an Indian, we have preferences, or, I am a vegetarian and all that. They did not know. But you will deal with a lot of these complex situations from time to time. So what I'm saying is, as you focus on your core competency, do spend a lot of time in improving or working on your soft skills. Soft skills will mean your communication, the way you dress up, etiquettes, as simple things like following up on emails, kisi ke saath meeting kiya hai, how quick are you able to send an acknowledgement to the person saying that, yes, we have met, I commit to so-and-so by this date. It's a fast world, if you don't do it within 24 hours or 48 hours, the whole essence is lost. So that's my sort of 7 to 8 points that I've learned out of my international experience. I think from an experience perspective, I've been exposed to almost 25 plus countries, as part of my role in various international markets. But these are my common learnings, and it has always helped me, being on the right side of things. Thank you.
All right.
As I said, all those things are very, very important, but communication is also key. Culture ka part hai communication, but if you do not know the meanings of things, you will make yourself fool in front of like whosoever is there. I can give you my example because I was coming from Vidarbh, where your first language of education is not English, right? And then I was doing internship again with Concern India Foundation. Same guy was there, right? So our job was to call HRs and ask them to participate in walkathon that we were conducting. Okay, so we were sitting we two and other two friends of ours, we were sitting. And that unfortunate day, the phone was on speaker, right? So I called the HR and I asked them, "Ye madam hai kya?" The lady said, "No, she is carrying." I said, "I can wait." Now, most of you may not understand English, and hence you do not understand the meaning of phrase. Carrying is mean the lady was pregnant. The assistant was telling me she's pregnant, she's not there in the office for, and I said like, I'll wait. जो हाथ में है वो रखिए फिर, right? So don't make yourself fool. Basic तो communication आना चाहिए. I worked a lot after that on my communication, I believe. And one international example. So there was one client came to our office from Europe. All senior people were sitting, right? MD and everything, like all top people. And we are not small company, we are like 1,000 people company. So that lady came and she said, "Excuse me, I want to polish my nose." Like powder my nose. I want to powder my nose. And she went. And we were wondering, यार इसको तो नाक कोई powder लगानी है तो ये क्यों जा रही है इधर? She took probably 15-20 odd minutes and then she came back. We later realized that I'm going to freshen up myself means I'm powdering my nose. So if you're not aware of these small phrases and idioms, तो problem है. सीखना चालू कर दो अभी से. And those are interesting, right?
Panelists, we see that now the gig economy and freelance work is becoming more prevalent. So how can businesses effectively navigate this shift?
See, freelancing, I would still say it is not into, into the system. Yeah, it is not. I mean, we still want a lot of people to get into the organization and work for us, full time. So I'm sure there are a lot of, talented freelancers who are working across multiple, sectors. But we still want them to work with us, in and out for full time, because that's how we will, basically we'll get to know about their talent more, and we will understand that how we will leverage the skill set within the probably a good cost effective manner. So still, I still don't believe that freelancing is still into the system very well, prevailing so much into the system and doing great. I would say still a long way to go for freelancers.
Right.
Yeah, I would like to add. So there's one more thing, one more aspect, or we can say that the contracting. So contracting is catching up instead of freelancing, right? So we are seeing that big corporates are also, because it is already prevalent in Europe and Americas, and contractors are paid more on hourly basis. Some contractors are earning like 400, 500 USD per day, right? That is their earning potential, and even 1,000 USD per day, based on the basis of their skills. So I have seen in technology there are contractors which are, they're only available on contracts because they have got that potential to earn more, and that is solely depend upon their skills and niche skills which they are carrying. And so there is a difference between freelancing and contracting, but contracting is catching up in India. That is what I am saying.
Expensive.
So freelancing, we can say that, so freelancing work is like the lower skill set work. We can say that can be considered as freelancing, but if we talk about the technology and all, so we have a contracting. So that is more organized than the freelancing.
I would disagree to saying that it is a lower skill set work. So you can see people on freelancing sites with all the best skill sets. And I am currently working with one of such candidate. So this lady is from Sri Lanka, and she comes from the TopTel. There's a site called TopTel. So she has been hired by our client from that site. Now, what's important here is how much ownership you can take of your work, and are you the right person? Would you drive it the way it is required to be driven? So large projects would generally go to organizations which can actually have that kind of skill set and the resources, and they can drive the the entire project end to end. But maybe small pieces of works, they will be part of the gig economy. So that's about it. But I think still there are many freelancers who have got amazing skill set. It's just that it's a mindset. They want to be free. They just want to work on contracts. That's why they are there on such sites, gigs. But otherwise, I like to be more safe. I don't want to take that kind of risk. So I want a job. Probably somebody. So Mandar has a more risk-taking appetite. And probably he has made good money, so he can now take that risk. So probably he can go about doing the gigs also, right? So that it's more of a mindset, and then of course skill set is of course required everywhere.
So I would like to add a few more things. So in India, the freelancing and contracting is taken over by companies like Infosys, Capgemini, and all they, because they are providing the workforce to the mainstream companies, correct? But in abroad, the contractors and freelancer are the individual, and they are free. They are actually free, right? So the difference between the contractors, what we are seeing in India, and the contractors which we are actually in European countries, because they are not getting the retirement benefits. So instead of retirement benefits, they are getting paid very heavily. But the one who is getting retirement benefits is like working for an organization like Capgemini, Infosys, or any other IT.
There are various layers to your question. We cannot look at this problem or this question from just one direction. As a company, I want to have complete control over what that person has delivered. Let us say I want to design a spacecraft, for example, and it should go up to Mars. Now, if that person has designed that spacecraft for me, which has an ability to go up to Mars, I want that knowledge to remain in my organization. If that person is an outsider, no matter how much legal contracting I do, and I pay say lakhs and thousands to the legal agency, the understanding of how that things work is already there with that person. Now he can think of another way of replicating the same thing and sell that technology to my competitor. I do not want that. And hence, companies are more hesitant to have freelancers. Even if they have NDA and other legal moat around their contracts, they hesitate. But the smart people are moving to more and more freelancing opportunities. I'll tell you a funny incidence of mine. उस ज़माने में इतना नहीं करना चाहिए था. So we had meeting planned with the Emerson का top head. Emerson is the biggest company in India when it comes to automation. So they wanted to discuss technology because technology was more close to that senior most guy, and our account manager. I was working with this company, so he said, यार तेरे को चलना है because they want to discuss technology and psychology and other things also, and you are the right fit for that. बिल्कुल, you schedule a meeting, then I'll come. He said, there's only one condition, you will have to come in formals. मैंने बोला यार मैं आऊँगा तो ऐसे आऊँगा. You decide whether you want me there or not. So we went there, right? So he was very, my friend was very, I would say, stiff. कि ऐसे बंदे को लेके जा रहे हैं. So there has this, Emerson have this policy of confiscating your laptops and all digital devices, right? All big companies have this. So I went and have this meeting with this guy. In first 2 minutes, I asked him, sir, I don't understand why you have this restriction. He said, why? What happened, Mandar? I said, you have not allowed me to bring my laptop, but you have allowed me to bring my mobile phone with me. Then he laughed. They said, no, that is not for general people. That policy is for general people. This is not for person like you. So now the contract of Easest is there with that company, okay, Emerson. This guy is out of that company, but we speak a lot over phone, at least once a month, right? Because he respects the knowledge that you bring. If you do not have knowledge, बिल्कुल ऐसा काम मत करना. Right? Only when you are confident that you can deliver what's you are going to discuss, तभी ऐसी मौज करो, नहीं तो मत करो. Go with the flow, ठीक है? But more and more senior you become, you will realize you have acquired more and more knowledge, and then you do not want those creepy HR emails कि Monday को ये करना है, Friday को रंगोली करनी है, right? You will start hating that, and then you want to be free. And that's how more and more people are getting into freelancing. So there's this psychological aspect, not just money, but they don't want this crap things, right? Because they feel this is taking their productivity down, right? Yeah.
I just want to add on, like big companies, maybe they are looking in, some companies are looking into freelancing and some companies are not. But being into the SMB sector, small business sector, we as a business person, we look into the quality of work, right? Now we have our own manpower who is working on that product, who is working in the design, who brings up that design to the clearest form. Now we don't have any trust on the other freelancers who are working in the market, because we are believing in the quality that we are providing our customers. The customers wants that quality because they have seen that in some other person's house, that product in some other person's house. So they are expecting that same quality. If I'm not being able to give that quality to them, then that's an injustice to their expectations, right? So like sir said, it's a vast area on which the question has been put up. But freelancing has taken up, at some sectors it has picked up a pace. But in some sectors, we always believe in full-time people who to keep that quality maintained. Like just an example that you saw today, like that's in this college, like Jay sir wants to keep everything the way he wants. He wants to keep that quality of work. You know, this table is positioned in such a way that he wants. The cannon is positioned in such a way that he wants. Like he wants to maintain that quality. We are aware of this quality from so long. When we come in, we see it's right in the right position. We always, we know that position, we see it in that same position. That's what we know. Now someone else comes and moves it little bit here and there, we'll be the first one to catch that it's not in the position. Or we'll tell sir, you have changed that place. So that's the mentality what people are carrying, and that's what people are asking for. So now you have to understand what people want. They want the same quality or they want a different quality. Whatever they are good with. So that's the answer to the question.
We will now have a Q&A session. Students, you can put forth your questions to the panelists.
Someone at the back. Can you give him the mic? Her, the mic, please.
Sir, I have a question. May I?
Of course, please.
Jai Hind, sir. My name is Sakshi Sanjay Gille. I'm from Latur, Maharashtra. We all are talking about the business in the today's world. Then AI is taking place in the today's world. So according to you, sir, what is the best time or a right time to start a business, sir?
Today. Don't get late.
Okay.
Start it right away.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sorry. So I kept my answer pretty short, but I would like to still explain something. Skills around it. And then understand what the competitors are doing, how you'll sustain the competition. And then fourth thing, what is the future of that business? How are you going to speed up or scale up? All right?
Okay, sir. Yes. Thank you so much.
Sorry. Sorry, Sakshi. Thank you, Sakshi. Yeah.
Jai Hind everyone. Myself Anik. I'm from Kolkata. So my question is, in marketing, we have to understand our customer and which are their needs, and we have to understand that. So my question is there any key thing which help us to analyze their needs?
Anik, whenever you are talking to a customer, you should frame few questions for yourself. That whenever you interact with a customer, you ask them few questions. The moment you ask those questions, you get the answers and you figure out what is his needs, right? Okay. Say suppose today you are going to have, you are in a mood to have some food, Okay, so you want to have Chinese. You go to a restaurant. You don't know what food is available, right? The waiter is also not aware what you are going to have or what you're feeling like to have, right? So the first question to you is what would you like to have?
Okay.
So there goes your answer, sir. I want to have this cuisine. Sorry. Okay. I want to have Chinese. So frame your one or two questions should be there, which should be like a first throw to the customer. They give you the answer, you get your answer, you understand his requirement, and then you go ahead with the flow. Okay, how you take it forward.
Okay, sir.
So these are the questions, right, which probably the customer will upfrontly give you the answers for. But there are so many things which are unsaid. Okay. For example, the budget. The budgets will always be unsaid from the customer's or client's end. You will have to somehow, one, do the research, probably connect the dots from the past wherein, if a few things were mentioned or if you are reading probably economic times and you understand the graph or the budgets or the revenue, probably you will able to set up or maybe that ballpark for yourself that this is the kind of budgets you will be able to get. Second is, first is of course you got maybe the how exactly it is working, the business is working right now. Second is your observation, okay, wherein whatever the conversation is going on with your customer as of now, you should be able to observe and figure out the exact need there itself, okay, because there might be a moment wherein all of these things will not be explicitly said to you. All right, so along with reading trends about the business, observation is the key wherein you'll get to understand a lot about your client or your customer. Thanks.
I just wanted to expand on that. It's a very important point. He mentioned that you have to really focus on what your customers said and unsaid. And I'll give you a real life example. So I was working with this company which is into fresh produce exports. You all understand fresh produce, right? Fresh produce is something that agriculture produce. In some cases, it also involves seafood and all that. So you're working with a company that is into exporting of all this. So we asked their customer base, what's most important for them? So, and this customer base is spread across the globe. So they said, we want fresh food. Now we did, and okay, you as a marketer would have said, okay, that's simple, right? Everybody wants fresh food. But then when you actually understand the unsaid, the definition of fresh changes from market to market. In China, the definition of fresh is that the seafood should be live. It should be, not sort of processed. It should be live seafood, So definition for a Chinese customer is live. For a customer in Europe is very different, For them, it is something that needs to be chilled, right? Chilled is basically you have processed the seafood and within 1 or 2 days shelf life, you are able to put it on the retail shelf. For that customer, European customer, the visibility was very important. You need to see what's presented to you. In the Indian context, fresh means frozen. So frozen means, you'll process it, you'll put it in ice, it'll have a 10-15 day of shelf life and all that. So this is what we learned. And for that company, their actually marketing or business strategy then had to be done into 3 parts. For Chinese customer, X strategy. For a European customer, it is this. For an Asian or a non-European, non-Asian markets, the strategy was different. And that's how we help the company then work on the packaging, branding, and so on. So this is a sort of a good example of a said and unsaid marketing. Thank you.
Okay. I would like to add here, whenever you want to assess the need of the customer, also think of the experience part. And what I mean by that is take your grandfather or grandmother to Subway and ask them to order something, right? So the person will ask what patty you want, what bread you want, what sauces you want, right? And your grandmother, grandfather will go crazy. बोले यार मेरे को तू दे ना यार तेरे को जो देना है, right? So how much information you want to ask the person, उसका कितना quantum होना चाहिए information, you have to decide that, right? So that's number one. Second, always think about the context in which you are operating, right? Imagine you are on a stretcher, met with an accident, right? Or doctor पूछ रहा है, we can do 7 types of surgeries on you. Which surgery you want to like? So there you cannot ask questions. Similarly, अगर आपको लग रहा है कि ये example बहुत stretched है, तो when you log on to Netflix and Prime, they recommend you movies, right? What are they trying to do is they're wanting to limit your choices, right? Now those recommended movies may or may not be your need, right? But they are wanting to like think on their own. They will tell you, okay, most of the customers who have watched this movie has also seen this movie, so we believe that you will enjoy this movie. Yes, yeah. Personal preferences, there are so many factors, right? So when you are talking about need, think of experience, think of context, think of budget, like she said, because if these people are transacting with you, also have their past data, so make some judicious guesses from there also, right? So again, it's not easy question. And I don't know whether you understand the difference between need and want. That you will be taught definitely in marketing. So if you are just talking about the need, you can just look at the person and you will understand what the need of that persons are to great extent. Right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Jai Hind sir, Jai Hind ma'am. My name is Aishwarya Sharma. I'm from Northeast Assam. So, sir, my question is, sir, in today's world, what actually corporate sector is mainly focused on about the students or the want from the student?
I think it has always been knowledge and skill. Always. I know there are other factors to it. I mean, there is always how do you present yourself, how do you communicate, how do you, put up yourself. Basically, how do you sell yourself in front of your, recruiter. But it is always your knowledge and your skill, which has, I believe has won the matches everywhere. So for me, yes, it is knowledge and skill. Make yourself so skillful that whoever your recruiter is should be impressed just by your answers. That's it. Like Mandar sir just mentioned that his answers were so perfect and still are so perfect that anybody can be so impressed. So that's what just be so skillful that you don't even have to use anything else in front of it. So yeah, that's short, but yes.
Right, and my 2 cents here. I picked it up from Professor. 2 cents. So one of my colleague also uses this phrase a lot. My 2 cents, and he also. So now it is there in me learning. All right. So yes, what she said is right. Skills, knowledge, and every company that would want to employ you guys would want to see how quickly you can add value to the system. How quickly. So your adaptability, your ability to learn things very quickly, your way of thinking towards a problem, how your problem-solving skills, how you can manage people or managing stakeholders, things like that. So that all sums it up, and how quickly you can add value to their processes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
We will have one last question now.
इसको मैं थोड़ा सा ऐड कर लूँ.
Yes.
Whatever I am going to say now may dishearten you, but that's the reality. Think of this situation that you are running a business. There are 2 candidates in front of you. One is experienced and you just have to pay 20K to that guy. Then another, there's a fresher who knows nothing about your organization, culture, work ethics, anything. And that person is also demanding 20K. Whom you will pick? It is most likely that you will pick an experienced guy.
Yes, sir.
Right? If you look at the ratio of people who are available for job and compare that with the jobs that are available, there's huge contrasting difference, right?
Yes.
So if you people want to be lucrative to your employers, future employers, you will have to do something extraordinary in these 2 years that these people will be compelled to pick you against the experienced person, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I'll give a quick example of my times. We were first batch, right? So I think as an institute, we were still making a mark in the industry, and it was a little difficult for us to get internships that time. We were doing everything as a group. The management was very supportive. We were reaching out. But what made a difference, I'll tell you. And I'll speak about only my case, right? So I said, okay, fine. Let as an institute, let's do whatever it takes to help each other out. But instead of waiting for the company to come to you, think about, do you have a plan to go to the company? Yes, so in that time, I remember Colonel Marwa used to very, very fondly talk about the future of businesses, e-business, and a lot of us did not understand that. And today we are living that e-business world. But that time, I remember a lot of my assignments, I used to do it on a desktop. So I used to actually carry that desktop on a two-wheeler from my house to the institute, because that was the only way to work on assignments, right? Or floppies sometimes, so we've seen that change. So in my case, there was this company called Dow Chemicals, and we heard about this company had started some initiative for e-business in their supply chain. So what they were simply doing is they were giving access to customers into SAP systems. So if you punch in the code, you would know where your product is in the supply chain. Very simple, but for that point in time, it was a game changer. So some of us in the team approached the company. They said that, okay, we are from an e-business institute. You are working on an e-business project. A lot of their people were all chemical technologists and all that. But they were quite excited to know that, okay, somebody from IIBM has approached us. They know a little bit of e-business. They were not so keen about e-business aata hai nahi, but they found out something which was a niche that time, which nobody had as a skill set. And as student, a few of us who were assigned into that company, we said that, we'll do everything. So they sent us to big companies like Reliance, Hindustan Lever at their own expense. And we were able to research a lot of stakeholders in that process. So ma'am, what I'm trying to say is that, yes, corporates will value you for a lot of things. But the one thing that they'll value you for is your initiative to solve their problem. And everybody, mind you, everybody has that opportunity, right? From somebody who is doing a housekeeping work in a company, yes, he can point out to a potential fire issue in a large industrial complex because he is, aware of his surroundings. Right up to the MD, who might see that, okay, because of the next financial crisis, I need to do my risk management. So everybody in the corporate has a responsibility. Take the initiative, you'll always be in the good space.
And it actually happened in the case of Colgate, wherein one of the housekeeping staff, he suggested that, and they were really struggling with the, the profits. And it happened then when this guy who was a part of the team or the housekeeping team, he came up and he suggested that, instead of keeping the whole of the tube, to just a few inches, so it happened already. So he's absolutely nailed it. So he's right in this case. So it happens. Thanks.
Yes. The last question.
Jai Hind sir, Jai Hind ma'am. My name is Akhil Mandavkar. I am from Mumbai, Maharashtra. I would like to ask question to Divesh sir about investment banking. So basically, what books or any other videos or any other platform should I refer to gain my knowledge in investment banking, specifically in OTC market?
So, hi, what's your name?
Akhil Mandavkar.
So, best book is which we have been reading, and I think you are also reading, is like Economic Times. So every day you will get latest insight about business or finance is in Economic Times, and you can watch CNBC and all. And if you would like to learn about derivatives, there's a book called John C. Hull.
John C.
Hull. Writer is John C. Hull. I guess that is present in library, already there in library. So you can refer to it from library, IIEBM library. And the best thing is to learn is to go with the YouTube channels. So every day I would suggest you just watch things on YouTube channel. That is very handy and self-explanatory.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, that's the best thing. Thank you. Anything else?
Another question I would like to ask is, you have experience of transaction reporting. So basically in trade life cycle, TLC, where the transaction reporting stands in. Like initially, trade life cycle starts from trade initiation, trade execution, and then comes in confirmation back office.
Correct.
So basically, where the transaction report exactly comes in trade life cycle.
So I'm not. So I think your question is a little different. So I have referred to risk reporting, right?
Okay, risk reporting.
Not the transaction reporting. So transaction reporting is used by the customer as well as the broker or the banker, right?
Okay.
That is the vanilla report, and it will not serve the purpose. But when we talk about the risk reporting, how much risk involves in any trade or any counterparty we are dealing with, then again it is useful for risk reporting teams.
Okay.
So that is with every organization.
Okay, sir.
So that's all. Anything else?
No, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Akhil, your answer about transaction reporting. So basically, transaction is reported when the transaction happens in the trade life cycle.
Okay.
Right? So you put an order, it is into the order book, and when the order matches, the trade happens. That is where the transaction is reported.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, panelists, for your valuable insights and expertise. It's been an enlightening discussion on navigating the changing landscape of business. We have also delved into automation, into data. We've all understood all the little things that are changing business today, and hopefully we learned something very, very interesting today. And we appreciate your time and contributions. At IIEBM, we firmly believe in the power of our alumni network. Your accomplishments and expertise are a testament to the quality education and nurturing environment provided by our institution. And we are always proud to see that our alumni are excelling in their respective fields. We look to your next visit to our campus. Thank you so much, panelists.